job during the war at the Birmingham Army Air Base with a civil service job. After the war was over, they didn't need all these employees, so I got a job with the Alabama Military Legion, and I worked in Birmingham. 2 men were sent to our office who had been stationed at, I think it was Fort Barrancas in Florida, then at Pensacola, and they worked in the office where I worked. And one day, one of their friends came to see them. He had been stationed at Fort Barrancas, and when they were transferred to Birmingham, he was transferred back to Fort Bragg. He did not like Fort Bragg. He had enlisted in 1936 and spent his first enlistment at Fort Bragg. When his enlistment was over, people coming back from overseas kept talking about what a great place the Philippine Islands were, a soldier's paradise. And he had an uncle who lived there as a civilian. He decided in his second enlistment to re-enlist for the Philippine Islands. He went there in 1940, and that's where he was in 1941 when World War II started. After the fall of the Bataan Peninsula in April 9, 1942, those people had been taken on what is now called the Bataan Death March. He thanked God that he was on Corregidor and not at Bataan. But after the Bataan fell, the Japanese aimed their weapons at Corregidor. And on May the 6th, 1942, they were surrendered to the Japanese. They were taken to Manila, and eventually he was sent on a train that was just packed full of people. If something happened to them and they wanted to fall, they couldn't fall. They were so crowded in there. And they were taken north and sent to Cabanatuan, where the Japanese prison camp. He stayed there until November. And then he was sent on a ship to Japan. And that's where he spent World War II, was in a Japanese prison camp on the island of Japan. When he got back to this country, I didn't know him then, and it was after he got back and his friends were transferred to the headquarters where I was stationed that he came and I met him. 3 months after we had our first date, we were married in 1949. We had a wonderful life. We had 3 children, 2 sons and a daughter. Unfortunately, he is now deceased. But those memories are just as vivid today to me as they were back during the time they were happening.